Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Friday, so it's our Friday news dump. We're going to cover all the news we can before the weekend. So you don't have to worry about it, and you can enjoy your turkey dinner if you're American anyways, and you can enjoy your weekend if you're from everywhere else. Don't worry about it, because we got it covered. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we start, and we haven't had any caffeine, except for me, who's been up since 5:45 in the morning. I have definitely had 6 cups of coffee so far.
Oh, you're all fatty. All right, Chatterbox. That won't get worded edgewise.
And also, I went to sleep at 12 p.m. and 12 a.m. and woke up at 4:20. So, I haven't slept all
my
day.
day.
Yeah.
Exactly what I did. Almost exactly what I did, right?
We're sharing the same exact experience right now, yeah. Except you're going to go back to sleep, and I'm staying up until 11 p.m. because I'm celebrating my affiliate anniversary today. So I'm streaming all day long.
Somebody will make coffee here, but they won't make it till 6 or something.
Yeah,
so
and then you'll steal a cup.
sleeping by then.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping. I don't care about waking up today.
But let's go ahead and get into our news dump here today and read out our headlines. Today on Before Coffee, D-Day paper, SPD General Secretary Djir-Sarai, transparent pawn and sacrifice, according to the German coalition drama from 3 weeks ago.
Okay, and astronauts unpack cargo from stinky Russian spacecraft, and fossils from dinosaur vomit and feces expose how they evolved to dominate Earth.
The Vienna Sausage Stand is more than just a snack stall now. It has a UNESCO Heritage recognition.
And sad news, Alice Brock, the Alice from Alice's Restaurant, the Thanksgiving favorite, has passed away.
In culture news, let's talk about Billy Preston, the 5th beetle.
It's National Day of Listening, so pull up a chair and listen to the news. It's November 29th, 2024 on Before Coffee.
That's right. Today is the day to learn to listen and hopefully not fall asleep with your nose in your coffee while you listen to these news stories, because I've got some drama in here. Let's start with the first big drama. Drama alert. This is coming out of the German government by David Kulisa on Deutsch. Following the publication of a detailed plan in the FDP, which stands for, what does FDP stand for? Forget the word. Free Democratic Party, the Free Democratic Party, for breaking up the traffic light coalition, which happened the day before the United States election, and everyone was saying, Germany's government has collapsed, and that's not what happened. The coalition broke up, and they're not in a majority, but the government hasn't collapsed. There isn't chaos in the streets. Germany is still running fine, and also cutting the culture budget, as we learned yesterday. DP General Secretary Bijan, Djir-Sarai, and Federal Executive Director Karsten Raymond have announced their resignations. Previously, numerous calls for this had been made, so after 3 weeks of saying these guys need to get out of here, they finally did it. SPD General Secretary Matthias Miersch told the German press agency DPA shortly after the announcement of Djir-Sarai's resignation that it was transparent pawn sacrifice. The move was made to divert responsibility from FDP leader Christian Lindner. It's like, sorry dude, you have to resign. You're a sacrifice. You're a scapegoat for this one. Miersch had previously personally called on FDP leader Lindner to apologize. Such irresponsible behavior destroys citizens' trust in the democratic institutions, he told the editorial network Germany about the exit plans, which he saw as cynical. SPD leader Lars Klingbeil wrote on Twitter, "It's good that everything is low and coming out, and citizens get an idea of what happened." He said when Sarai resigned, he said he knew nothing about the much criticized D-Day document, but accepted political responsibility. Federal Secretary Karsten Rayman is also resigning from his post. According to party sources, he is the author of the document. So he wrote the document. Sarai had nothing to do with it, but he's resigning because he's the scapegoat. The federal chairwoman of the Young Liberals, Franziska Brandmann, has also called for Sarai's resignation. The paper written by the party's leader, which speaks of a D-Day in a field battle, is unworthy of a liberal party. She wrote on Instagram, "Not only the public must get the impression that they have been deceived for weeks, but also their own party." FTP Executive Committee member Mari Agnes Strack-Zimmerman was self-critical. On Thursday, which was the 28th of November, shortly after the publication of the so-called D-Day paper, she told the DPA, "Now all that is needed is self-criticism and coming to terms with the situation." The choice of words was not helpful. A written version with this tone is incomprehensible. However, it was right to discuss exit scenarios. However, she was not present at the relevant meeting. Operation D-Day. The meeting in Potsdam at the end of September, the party's leadership circle began to consider ending an alliance with the SPD and the Greens. This led to a fierce internal controversy. So this is the big drama that broke the government. The head of the CDU's employee wing, Dennis Radke, said he no longer believes the FDP is capable of forming a coalition. "Current days of chaos at the FDP confirm my position. This party cannot be a reliable partner for anyone at the moment," he told the Reuters news agency. "Anyone who lies to the public in order to ultimately blame their own employees should not take any more responsibility in Germany so quickly." The best thing for the FDP to do would be to reposition itself outside of parliament. The CDU politician advised, "We have no votes to give away to this liberal amateur acting troupe." Green Party leader Britta Hasselmann also criticized, "The parliament is not a battlefield, and the struggle for the best ideas and concepts is part of our vibrant democracy. The FDP should not take responsibility for our country." Left Party leader Ines Schrödner said in Berlin that she couldn't really understand the fuss about the paper. It was clear that what a responsible game Linder was playing. The FDP itself published its paper on possible exit scenarios from Traffic Light Coalition after the Süddeutsche Zeitung and other media had researched it and sent inquiries to the party. In several meetings of the FDP's closest leadership, the scenarios for the end of the coalition have been played out since the end of September. So, look what it looks like here, right? If we can kind of summarize this whole thing. The leadership of the Free Democrat Party were looking into scenarios at which they might have to exit their coalition with two other parties. And that in itself caused the breakup of the coalition. The drama of thinking that it was possible that they could break up caused them to break up. And completely lost any trust. And I guess they're saying that the citizens lost trust in government, but it sounds like it's just the government parties lost trust in each other. Because why are you planning on a breakup if you're not going to break up? I guess is the idea. And that's why it's a bit of a drama. Because it's kind of making a problem out of something that wasn't a problem. They were just making plans in case it happened, I guess. But from their point of view, they're planning to do it, and that's why they made the plans. So the planning was in itself a call of guilt. Did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
Bye.
You just got... Alright, well that's my story on the drama and the collapse of the German government. On to yours.
Oh, okay. Well, humans and their drama. Politics is always a messy business. I hate delving into. Because who knows what motivates people? A lot of times it's negative impulses. Anyway, back into space, we're going to do science today. We're going to talk about astronauts unpack cargo from a stinky Russian spacecraft. This is from
Stinky.
Gizmodo. Yes. Thank you. This is from Gizmodo. And the person's name is Pasant Rabi. Or something like that. That's the way I'm pronouncing it. The hatch between a Russian cargo ship and the International Space Station is finally open after a foul stench initially prompted astronauts to seal it off. The good news is the smell has not lingered, and NASA may have figured out the cause. I think somebody let one go. Somebody let one go. They got inside there.
Somebody captured all their farts in a jar and then released it, like right there, you know?
Yeah. That's right. I've been holding that inside my...
Man, this is going to be a crazy prank, guys. And he has his camera out. All right, I'm going to open it.
Which brings up the prospect of farting inside of a spacesuit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Roscosmos cosmonauts Ivan Wagner and Alexander Gorbanov unpacked the Progress 90 cargo ship, which carried 3 tons of food, fuel, and other supplies for the ISS. Upon docking to the space station's Piast module on Saturday, astronauts noted a weird smell coming from the cargo ship, in addition to some other odd floating droplets. After keeping the hatch that connected Progress and the Russian module closed to seal off the stench, their astronauts later reported that the odor dissipated quickly and they proceeded with cargo transfer operation, NASA wrote in an update Monday. Notice how they call the Russians astronauts now? Isn't that interesting? They used to be called cosmonauts. Anyway. As for the reason behind the odd smell, NASA said it may have been due to the outgassing from materials inside the cargo spacecraft. It's not clear whether that may have affected the supplies being loaded into the ISS. My guess is something spoiled and it's releasing methane. That's just my wild guess. They sent them spoiled food up there by accident, maybe. Don't eat it until you get a food taster. Wait, you can't have a food taster in ISS. Anyway, upon the detection of the smell, the flight controllers on the ground activated the air scrubbing equipment as part of the normal procedures, NASA wrote. Cosmonaut Wagner also cleaned ventilation system and conducted photography inspections, according to the space agency. NASA had reported earlier that the air quality inside the space station was at normal levels, dismissing concerns that the ISS may have been exposed to a contamination risk. The Progress 90 spacecraft is set to remain docked to the ISS for a period of 6 months. Afterward, the cargo ship will plunge towards Earth's atmosphere, burning up upon re-entry, along with the trash from the ISS that the astronauts will load into Progress. Oh yeah, just dump your trash on Earth. Oh, it'll burn up. It'll burn up. Okay. Anyway, I was joking. Just a joke. Its predecessor, Progress 89, launched on August 14th and is currently docked to the space station. On Monday, it performed an orbit-raising maneuver for the ISS, firing its engines for 3.5 minutes to move the station farther from a broken-off satellite fragment in its path. The maneuver helped the ISS avoid a possible collision with the orbital debris. Such maneuvers are now weirdly common these days. What's weird about it? I don't think it's weirdly common. It's because there's going to be more space junk. And as you create more space junk, that space junk is going to hit more things and create more space junk. I don't think that's weird at all. It's just shit flying around Earth that we try to keep track of. The ISS has served as a home for astronauts now for over 2 decades, but the aging space station is set to retire in the year 2030, diving through Earth's atmosphere where most of it will burn up upon re-entry, and the remaining fragments will land in a remote region of the Pacific Ocean known as Point Nemo. Okay, so that's your update on the space station. Now we're going to go way back in history to dinosaurs. And this is from the Daily Galaxy. Yeah, they're stinky. They were stinky at the time. They had giant feces. Think of the size of it, right? A revolutionary study published in Nature offers new insights into the rise of dinosaurs, revealing how their diet and adaptations helped them become a dominant species of Earth. By analyzing hundreds of fossilized pieces of digestive material known as bromelites, yes, that's right. A big old fossilized turd is called a bromellite. Researchers have reconstructed what dinosaurs ate and how their feeding habits evolved over millions of years. The study suggests that the dinosaurs' dominance was influenced by a combination of random environmental changes and their evolutionary adaptability. The role of bromelites in understanding dinosaur diets. The research team, led by Martin Kvarstrom from Uppsala University examined over 500 pieces of bromelites from the Polish basin in Central Europe. These fossils, estimated to be around 200 million years old, provided a glimpse to the dietary habits of early dinosaurs. Kvarstrom explained that the work demonstrated that you can use pretty seemingly unremarkable fossils to get pretty remarkable results. The team employed advanced techniques such as synchrotron microtomography, to a method that uses particle accelerator to peer inside the fossils, and a chemical analysis that uncovered the remains of fish, plants, and insects. Despite the age and acidity of many of the fossils, the team was surprised by how well some insects were preserved. Some of them were so beautifully preserved that in 3 dimensions, with all of their antennae and legs, said Kvarstrom. This level of preservation provided invaluable insights into the diets of the dinosaurs. The study reveals that the rise of dinosaurs to dominance was a complex process. By analyzing the context of the bromelites, researchers found that the number of variety of food items in a dinosaur's diet increased over time. Larger dinosaurs with more diverse feeding habits began to dominate during the late Triassic period, which is approximately 237 to 201 million years ago. By comparing these fossils with plant data from the same period, the researchers found that the rise of dinosaurs was shaped by a combination of chance events and adaptations. For example, increasing humidity during the Triassic period led to changes in vegetation, which in turn affected the diet of dinosaurs, according to Kvarstrom. What we learned was that the rise of dinosaurs took quite a long time and was really complex. Kvarstrom emphasized that the rise of dinosaurs was influenced more than just by chance events, noting that it was really complex and involved both evolutionary adaptation and environmental shifts. Of course, the environmental shifts happen and then the evolution happens, right? Because evolution does not happen independent of anything else, right? Environmental changes are not affected by evolution. It's the other way around, right?
Yeah.
My evolution does not affect the weather. Team members conduct
unless it's something like I've decided to evolve into a smog cloud, then the weather is affected by that.
And by the way, evolution is like I said, it's a reaction to the environment. Team members conduct excavations in Lisowicz, Poland, at a site from the late Triassic. Oh, that's a caption for a picture, sorry. There's no picture, so I read it. The research marks a significant step forward in understanding how life on Earth responds to the changing environmental pressures. Suresh Singh, a paleopsychologist at the University of Bristol, praised this study, calling it an impressive piece of work. He added that it was the first time he had seen bromelite-focused research applied to such a large scale. Singh also suggested that the future studies could use bromelites to explore how dinosaurs evolved in different parts of the world. Current studies suggest that dinosaurs evolved first in the southern hemisphere, and so maybe you have a different pattern happening down there, he said. The study's findings highlight the importance of bromelites in understanding the diets and evolution of early dinosaurs. As Kvarstrom noted, the research shows that even seemingly unremarkable fossils can provide remarkable results. This opens the door to further exploration of how ancient ecosystems function and how dinosaurs adapted to changing environments. And there's your story on dinosaurs in your big stinky cargo
story
bay.
And your dino story.
The stinky cargo bay on the ISS. Back to you. I don't know. Are you going to use your video or no? I use your video. You want me to send you one?
I mean, you can send your videos still.
Okay.
It's fine. It doesn't. If I don't use it, I don't use it. I use it on Monday,
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
It probably won't be as pertinent on Monday, but that's cool.
Well, that's life.
Hey.
Let's talk about Vienna sausages. Yeah, I know. We went from a stinky old story, fossils and all that, to Vienna sausages. There's a stand in Vienna that or I guess the idea of the Vienna Sausage Stand has been marked as a UNESCO Heritage mark. It's been marked. Has the stamp of approval. This is a UNESCO Heritage thing. This is from Philippe Jean on AP News out of Vienna. The Vienna Sausage Stand is a place for the street sweeper, the manager, the tourist, and the celebrity converge for the same tasty snack. Now it has the official stamp of approval as part of Austria's heritage. The culture of the humble Wurstelstand became this week one of the latest additions to the national list of intangible cultural heritage. It's not a place you can really visit, but it's a marker of the culture. Overseen by the Austrian UNESCO Commission, it joins the Austrian's capital's distinctive wine taverns, or Hurigen, as well, which have been listed since 2019, and the city's famous coffee house culture, which was honored in 2011. I wonder if the coffee house culture in the Netherlands has been honored. Did you know Dutch people drink more coffee than everyone else in the world? They drink a lot of coffee. I don't know why. At least in Europe, they drink the most coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the coffee houses, which don't drink coffee.
I was going to say American coffee cups are 20 ounces.
I don't know what they are in Europe. I mean, I drink out of this.
I know they're not.
I don't know if you can see this
20
cup,
ounces.
but this is
Ask for
pretty
American
big.
coffee in Europe. Ask for
This is
American
pretty big.
coffee in
This is a
Europe.
pretty
Like
big
maybe-
cup. So
Let me. Okay. Well,
See
is
it?
that one you bought at a store? I don't see you, so
you don't
you're
see
not
me.
on camera in mine.
Oh, I didn't turn my camera.
Yeah, you're
on.
not on camera in mine.
See,
Yeah.
what am I out here having my camera on, but I'm not turning it on. All right, here you go. This is what it looks like. This is big as my face, almost.
Yeah, but you didn't get that at a coffee store, did you? You made that.
Yeah, I made this. I'm a glass worker. No, I didn't make this.
No,
It's-
you made that cup of coffee. I said.
Oh,
right?
well, yeah.
You-
Most people drink coffee from their house in Europe. They don't go out. They don't spend money on Starbucks. No, they just make it themselves. That's the other thing, I
Well,
guess, that
I
makes
don't-
this different.
Yeah. I don't know what the ratio is in the United States. All I know is in the morning when I line up to get coffee, there's 40 people in front of me. So, and they're usually just getting coffee and a donut or coffee and a frickin', egg
Yeah.
sandwich. So
That's
and
what
the
I'm
coffees
saying.
are all
I
big.
don't know.
always.
These,
Anyway, sorry.
I don't know who
Back
collects
to
the
your story.
statistics. I'm not. That's what they say. They just say Dutch people drink the most coffee, is what they said. Okay, we're still
I'm done
stunned,
interfering.
which can now point to a history going back generations, is more than just a source of greasy gastronomic satisfaction. The street stand is known for bringing people of many classes and backgrounds together and has its own distinctive vocabulary. Meet the Hase, a coarse boiled sausage, and also the Kassenkrainer, a smoked creation infused with cheese that oozes out. Ooh, I love those. Cheese in your sausage. Also sometimes known as the Eitrige or Subrating sausage. There's also the Oschpfirfel, a spicy pepperoni, and the Krokondu, a gherkin. I apologize for all that pronunciation. I know Dutch, not German, so... And Austrian German, I'm sure, is even more different, but I don't know. I only know how to speak Dutch. Sausage stands have a very long history in Vienna. Josef Bitzinger, whose Bitzinger Wurstel stand is located next to Albertina Museum and just behind the Vienna State Opera. Originally, it was just a bucket with hot water in which the sausage used to swim. And just a boiled sausage in a bucket. That's lovely. They were sold from small carriages drawn by dogs and bigger ones drawn by horses. Later by a VW bus or tractor to their spot. The tradition goes back to the pre-World War I era of Austro-Hungarian Empire, which is now illegal. They're never allowed to be together again. When former soldiers set up a mobile cook shop to make a living. The city's longest-lived stall is in a fixed location. The Wurstel stand Leo has been serving up sausages since 1928. The stand developed into a bigger institution after wider-ranging permissions for fixed stalls were granted in 1969. It was then that the girdle was introduced and the cheesy Kaskrainer invented, Bitzinger said. Today, that's already a classic. You're telling me. Cheese in a sausage, just brilliance incarnate. The UNESCO designation honors the tradition of the hospitality and the diversity of our city, Mayor Michael Ludwig said in a statement. This title is a recognition of all those Viennese who, with their warmth and their charm, make the sausage stand more than just a snack place, a meeting place where joie de vivre and culture come together. Ritzinger said that we have been fighting a long time for this. They've been fighting for their sausage stands. The special thing about it is that it's a form of gastronomy everybody can afford, he said. Here, the general director during the opera ball inevitably stands next to a worker and the street sweeper who just finished cleaning the street. That unites people. I agree. Food is the great uniter. And if we all focused on what foods we liked over, I don't know, how much money we each other have, I think we would solve world peace. Right there. Wow, you like sausages? So do me. Who cares if you practice a different religion? What do you like in your sausage? Well, since I can't eat pork, I like a nice turkey sausage. Wow, turkey sausage, I've never tried that. Wow, look how easy it is for people to get along. Crazy, huh? Of course, I know there are people out there who get angry if you put pineapple on pizza, so... I wish the food was the great uniter, but I know there's plenty of people who will use food as a reason to hate you. You don't like eating mint chocolate? You should die! Yeah, well, okay. Calm down. It's just some chocolate. Nobody's making you eat it. That's my story.
I just hope Vienna sausage is better in Vienna than it is in the United States, because it's...
No, what you're eating is not Vienna sausage. Just think of a bratwurst.
You say Okay, that's like, what do you say exactly? Vienna sausage in the United States, for those not indoctrinated, they're this big, and they are made from lips and assholes. So I don't, and they're used to be meat at some point, but they do something to it to whip it into some kind of frenzy.
Think more.
Mixed together and...
Think more. I mean, it's probably still made out of that, to be fair, but just think more grilled, red, like a long sausage, a really long sausage.
Oh, yeah.
12-inch sausage.
Oh, right. Oh, I understand. It's completely different. I'm just explaining American sausage, the sausage, which is only about 2 inches long, and it comes in a can, and it lasts for 1,000 years. Like, it has a half-life, I believe.
And they don't have cheese in them, so they're, it's not even comparable. They don't have cheese.
Oh, there's cheese. I say it. It's a good thing I know. I know the camera just moved because it kicked my table. Of course, the camera has a mind of its own. So it says, you know what? Humans piss me off. I'm going to do that. Whatever I want.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to my story, which is a sad news. This is from AP. Let me get my glasses off so I don't reflect everything back. Not that I care. I'm not vain about glasses like I used to. It's like, fuck, I don't care what it look like. Anyway, Alice Brock, who helped inspire Arlo Guthrie's... Oh, by the way, I decided not to send you a video because it was too cumbersome. It didn't go anywhere. Anyway. Alice Brock, who helped inspire Arlo Guthrie's classic Alice restaurant, dies at the age of 83. This is from last Friday, so this is Friday News Dump, so...
Yep.
We're dumping it today. Alice Brock, who reluctantly got famous, whose Massachusetts-based eatery helped inspire Arlo Guthrie's deadpan Thanksgiving standard, Alice's Restaurant, has died at the age of 83. Her death just a week before Thanksgiving was announced Friday by Guthrie on Facebook page of his own Rising Sun Records. Guthrie wrote that she died in Provincetown, Massachusetts, her residence for some 40 years, and referred to her as being in failing health. Other details were not immediately available. This coming Thanksgiving will be the first without her, Guthrie wrote. Alice and I smoked by phone a couple of weeks ago, and she sounded like her old self. We joked around and had a couple of good laughs, and even though we knew we'd never have another chance to talk together. Oh, I'm going to cry. Both Alice May Pelkey in New York City, born, I said both because I can't read because of my eyes. Born Alice May Pelkey in New York City, Brock was a lifelong rebel who was a member of the Students for the Democratic Society, among other organizations. In early 1960s, she dropped out of Sarah Lawrence College, moved to Greenwich Village, and married Ray Brock, a woodworker who encouraged her to leave New York and resettle in Massachusetts. Guthrie, the son of celebrated folk musician Woody Guthrie, first met Brock around 1962 when he was attending the Stockbridge School in Massachusetts and she was the librarian. They became friends and stayed in touch after he left school. When he would stay with her and her husband at the coveted Stockbridge Church that became Brock's main residence. On Thanksgiving Day, 1965, a simple chore led to Guthrie's arrest, his eventual avoidance of military service during the Vietnam War, and a song that endured as a protest classic and a holiday favorite. Guthrie and his friend Richard Robbins were helping the Brocks throw out trash, but ended up tossing it down a hill because they couldn't find an open dumpster. They couldn't find an open dump, not a dumpster. They didn't have dumpsters in 1967. Or 65, dumpster. No, they went to the dump and it was Thanksgiving, so it was closed. That's in the movie. Anyway, I don't know why they call it a dumpster. Police charged them with an illegal dumping, briefly jailed them, and fined them $50, a seemingly minor offense with major repercussions. By 1966, Alice Brock was running the Backroom Restaurant in Stockbridge. Guthrie was a rising star, and his breakout song was an 18-minute talking blues that recounted his arrest and how it made him ineligible for the draft. The chorus was a tribute to Alice, whose restaurant, Guthrie pointed out, was not actually called Alice's Restaurant, that countless fans have since memorized. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Walk right in. It's around the back. Just about a mile from the just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's
Restaurant.
Guthrie.
The delay. Reminded there's a delay.
Right, sorry. Guthrie assumed his song was too long to catch on commercially, but it soon became a radio perennial and part of the popular culture. Alice's Restaurant was the title of his million-selling debut album and the basis of a movie and a cookbook of the same name. Alice Brock would write a memoir, My Life as a Restaurant, and collaborate with Guthrie on a children's book, Mooses Come Walking. At the time of her death, they had been discussing an exhibit dedicated to her at the former Stockton home, now the Guthrie Center, which serves free dinners every Thanksgiving. Brock ran 3 different restaurants at various times, although she would later acknowledge she initially didn't care much for cooking or business. She would also cite her professional life as a cause of her marriage breaking up, while disputing rumors that she had been unfaithful to her husband. Her honor was immortalized by Guthrie, who late in Alice's Restaurant advised, you can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant, excepting Alice. Anyway, there's your story on me almost yawning. There's your story on the late Alice Brock, immortalized in song. Back to you.
The restaurant. Hell yeah. Rest in peace.
And if you got a chance, just listen to it. It's only 20 minutes and it's hilarious.
Only 20 minutes.
It's only 20 minutes and it's hilarious. So
yeah, you go. That's good.
Anyway.
All right. Well, speaking of people who I don't know, is this guy gone and passed away? I'm not sure. He might be. He might not be. Because
who's that?
Billy Preston, one of the people.
He's still around.
I think he's still around. Well, he's old at least, since we're talking about old things.
Oh, he's still around.
And
he did die. No.
Huh? He died?
No, he died. He died in 2006. Sorry.
Okay. So speaking of other people who passed away, we're talking about the fifth. One of the people was considered the fifth beetle. Raj was talking about this earlier, that there's like 20 people that are considered the fifth beetle, but Billy Preston's one of them. And the reason we're talking about him is because there's been a new documentary about Billy Preston. I think after he appeared in that found footage of the Get Back film by
at least 2 #1 hits.
Yeah,
he wasn't on slouch on his own hit. At least 2 #1 hits. So at least 2.
But now there's a documentary about this, lost beetle that no one ever talks about, the black beetle, one could say. And this is off of The Guardian by Trish Bendix. a magnetically vibrant keyboard prodigy who played on Let It Be and worked with George Harrison, Preston later lived through years of addiction. A new film aims to find the dark and the light of his story. In the 1960s and 70s, Billy Preston was the musician's musician. A self-taught prodigy who grew up playing the organ in his Los Angeles church, he was accompanying Mahalia Jackson and appearing on the Nat King Cole show before he was 11. By high school, he was traveling with Little Richard on his European tour, standing stateside every night to watch support band the Beatles. So he was going for a long time. By 1969, he had been dubbed the fifth Beatle. He was co-credited on the track Get Back and went on to be one of George Harrison's right-hand men after the guitarist went solo. Billy never put his hands in the wrong place, Ringo Starr said. He was so great. Sam Cooke, Ray Charles and the Rolling Stones, Aretha Franklin, Barbra Streisand, and Elton John all hired him. He put on solo records and wrote his hits for others, including Joe Cocker's You Are So Beautiful, but he struggled with addiction and was imprisoned after violent drug-related incidents. He died age 59 in 2006. Too young. Younger than you. Now, in the documentary Billy Preston, That's the Way God Planned It, directed by U.S. TV veteran Paris Barclay, friends and colleagues including Eric Clapton, Olivia Harrison, George's widow, and the late gospel singer Sandra Crouch tell his story. The film opens with Preston's talents on full display. A 24-year-old virtuoso performing at George Harrison's 1971 concert for Bangladesh. Harrison announces his band star Clapton, Leon Russell, Bob Dylan, and Ravi Shankar, all playing Preston's That's the Way God Planned It. At one point, Preston slips out from behind the keys to take center stage in a joyful praise dance. I just couldn't help myself, he said in a voiceover. The band was jamming and they was pumping. The people with us, I just had to rejoice. With his gap-toothed smile and infectious energy, Preston's performance style was informed by the gospel choirs he grew with, as it was Little Richard and his late mentor Ray Charles. The church gave him a place for his talents to flourish. I mean, yeah, keyboards? That's a perfect place for to learn keyboards. But as a black gay man, oh, here we go, big reveal, he was gay. Surprise! He struggled to square his sexuality with his Christianity, as all gay people do. A fact complicated by a sexual assault he suffered in the church while young. Wow! I'm shocked. Like Preston, Barclay is black, gay, and also grew up in church, playing organ and piano. Not anyone near the level of Billy Preston, but that's what I wanted to do, he said. Both Preston and Barclay lost brothers in fatal accidents, and like Preston, I had some really untoward sexual experiences that shaped me in the way I saw the world. Preston was famously tight-lipped about subjects other than music, and his homosexuality was hidden in plain sight. Though he wouldn't refer to himself as gay until later in life, he often brought partners on tour or recording sessions, introducing them as friends or cousins. Barclay was able to locate some of Preston's former lovers, but none wanted to appear in the film. I wish we could have gotten them on camera, Barclay said, but they verified and allowed us to feel comfortable putting their stories out there. That's so sad. I wonder why they were too scared to be... Maybe they just didn't want they just want the drama, you know? Being associated with a famous person like Billy Preston. It's just like, yeah, I dated the guy, but I don't want to be on camera. I don't want my, family and friends to know about it. Preston attempted to escape his troubled private life by throwing himself into his work. He was a regular on the TV variety show Shindig, took the lead in the 1978 film flop Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which was also an album, a Beatles album. He also had his hits, including 1972's Will It Go Round in Circles and his 1979 duet with Motown singer Sarita Wright, With You I'm Born Again, written by Carol Connors and David Shire. It was a moving target, Harrison said. Bill just kept moving, playing, dancing, singing. And how could you get that guy and sit him down and say, hey man, what's going on? Professionally, I would say he had more good judgment than bad, says friends and former Motown executive Tony Jones. I think the bad judgment came from when the career started falling apart. Yeah, when you hit that high and you start going down, you start looking for something else to get you up there. Unfortunately, for some people, with a stalling career and time on his hands, Preston's addiction to cocaine, alcohol, and later crack proved too powerful for him to resist. He who was plagued with legal troubles throughout the 90s, with charges of probation, violation, insurance fraud, and assault. Bernard J. Cummins, the judge who presided over several of Preston's criminal cases and eventually sentenced him to prison in 1997, gives his first ever interview in the film. Although the sentence was for assault, I put drug conditions on it because there was no way that this man would have assaulted anyone had he not been so severely addicted, Cummins said in the film. Preston later wrote to thank him, though he would not manage to remain sober for long after serving 18 months of a 4-year sentence. While inside, he led religious services in a choir. Despite some briefly successful stints in rehab, in 2005, Preston, who had a history of kidney disease, contracted pericarditis, went into a prolonged coma, and died in June 2006 from kidney failure. So, he didn't die from overdose, but he did die from drug use, you could argue, because even alcohol is a drug, okay? And even if it was just alcohol, that could destroy your kidneys. But I'm sure it was also the drugs didn't help either. Sadly.
Right.
Documentaries sometimes omit grimmier details, but what makes this film powerful and human, as Harrison said, is that it doesn't shy from them. Something she also experienced while working with Martin Scorsese on the 2011 documentary George Harrison, Living in the Material World. On that film, Harrison says, there were things where I was like, oh no, don't. That wasn't his best time, he was struggling. And it's actually my son who said, you can't sanctify him, Mom. You have to have the dark and the light. But earlier this year, a lawsuit waylaid the Preston film just before its premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Texas. Preston's former manager, Joyce Moore, her musician husband, Sam, and musician Kenny Burke claimed that the documentary was about pushing the director and producer's personal agendas and financial benefit rather than the homage to Billy Preston that was sold to plaintiffs. The suit was eventually dropped after some additional edits were made, with producer Nigel Sinclair. We did change about a couple of minutes, repetitive things that maybe over-regged the pudding. Yeah, we get it, he was a drug addict, that's probably what it was, you know. If he didn't do drugs, and then, but then the drugs came back, you know, like it kept on going, and the drugs.
Wait, you can block a movie if you don't like how it is edited? I didn't realize that. Anyway.
I'm not sure. I think it was more like a social pressure thing. Like, I'm taking you to court. Okay, calm down. You know, they're putting it into a court scenario so that they have more of a backhand, I guess, to it. Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it either. There's a lot of emotion involved.
Movies are art, even documentaries.
Yeah.
Movies are art, even documentaries. Yeah. So the silliness of you're trying to influence people with this. How can you avoid that, right? You can't avoid it. Anyway.
There's a lot of emotion involved in situations like this, Sinclair says. Picking up the discussions between plaintiffs and defendants made them realize how much they had in common. How Joyce Moore worked so hard for Billy, and we'd worked so hard to make this film. It was emotional resolution as well. Those involved, I guess they probably just painted somebody badly in the film. Like, Joyce Moore could have done
realistic.
Joyce Moore could have done more for Billy to not make him addicted to drugs, or Joyce Moore introduced Billy to drugs. Take that out of the film. That's defamation, you know, something like that. You can't say it's my fault Billy was addicted to drugs. We'll never know because they cut it out.
Right.
But it was probably something that they made them feel bad, right? You made me look bad.
Right.
Ugh.
No. You mean I made mistakes in my life and people are going to know about it? Shit.
Yeah. Oh no, not my mistakes.
Everybody wants to be sanctified. Believe it or not, after you die, people are going to talk about you and ain't shit you can do about it.
No,
just letting you know.
You can do. Those involved with That's What God Planned, it hoped that the film will raise important questions of how loved ones can support individuals with drug problems like Billy Preston, or indeed Liam Payne, Barclay says, speaking shortly after the former One Direction star's death. Had I made this before, I probably would have dealt with Corey Monteith very differently, Barclay said, of the actor he directed in a brief stint on Glee, who died from an overdose of heroin and alcohol in 2013. I knew that he was in trouble. I was a recovered alcoholic. I did have a couple of conversations with him, but I kind of thought, I'm just a guest director here. This isn't my business. Never do that. If you see somebody who needs help, help them. Don't make excuses not to help somebody. Well, he's learned that lesson the hard way, sadly. If I'd done this movie before I did Glee, I would have stepped across that line and would have gone to Monteith. I would have tried to help him get the bridge to sobriety. A portrait of an artist, that's the way God planned it. It is a story about addiction and the love and patience people like Preston need. Tony Jones says he thinks his friend would love being shown as he is, to be acknowledged and to be appreciated and have heartfelt sentiments expressed about his plight in life. If he could see this, he would feel understood. He would know that he really did matter. So, if you would like to see the documentary in the US, it will be streamed in the US via Doc NYC until December 1st, so I guess watch it this weekend before you miss it. And otherwise, I'm sure somebody somewhere will illegally download it on the internet, and you might be able to find it that way, because that's what I have to do. When they say only in the US, I have to get like that beetle thing, right? You wanted to watch that beetle thing, and I was like, oh, I want to see that.
No, it's back. Huh? It's back on Disney now. I can watch it now. It's
but
back
I'm
on
saying
Disney.
It's not available in the EU. I tried looking up, and it was like only available in the US. Only US people can watch this. So I was like, well, I guess I have to pirate it. You've given me no choice. Zero choices. No, watch it here.
That's the reason it's not available. That's the reason it's not available. People making illegal copies.
No, I'm saying it's not available in EU. It's available in the US.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's not. That's why, because people are making illegal copies.
What? How is that stopping you from doing it in the US? What's stopping you from doing that in the US?
Probably the US did something. They paid them off. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
That's the way it got. That's why I got pulled in the first place.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it was never available in the EU. Is what I'm arguing. It was never available in the EU. It's never been available. It's only been available in the US. I think it's weird.
Why? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. What about England?
It doesn't make any sense, but it happens. Netflix does the same stuff. Netflix will have it's licensing, to be fair. And they didn't license it to be played. They're like, nobody in Europe cares about this. For some reason, the UK had it. The UK had it, but I'm saying like France, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. They didn't have access to it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I'd have to go to the UK or change my IP to UK.
All right.
Sign up for the iPlayer for $4 a month.
I give up. I surrender. I give up. I surrender. You made your point.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying,
you've driven it home.
This isn't available for me to watch. So I guess I would have to, hopefully somebody gives me access to it so I can watch this one day, because it's only available in the US right now, but maybe they'll have distribution rights for the rest of the world.
Maybe it's at a film festival. Maybe there's a film festival in Amsterdam and they're going to have it there.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in Rotterdam.
It just debuted at South by Southwest. It's probably not in theaters or anything. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is in theaters. It's in theaters at NYC Doc. You can stream it, I should say. You can stream it until December 1st. NYC Doc, if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, you can't do that.
Okay.
Anyways, that's my little coverage of the article about Billy Preston, the fifth Beatle, who had a fun and happy life until it went downhill and he turned to drugs, sadly. And that's how people saying that's how he'd want you to remember him by. As a flawed human, not a sanctified, wow, he was great and nothing bad ever happened, That's not him.
I assume people are imperfect.
Exactly. And this day in history, I guess.
Okay, ironically, I was going to say this day in history, George Harrison died, so.
Oh, maybe that's why they're talking about it too, huh?
Anniversary of that. 1830, the Polish, let me get closer to the camera. A Polish secret society of infantry cadets staged an uprising in Warsaw, beginning the November insurrection. So that's this day in history in 1830. We're only going back to 1830 today. 1832, author Louisa May Alcott was born, who's best known for her novel Little Women. Not her novel Huge Women. That never sold very well. 1850. 1850. Prussia and Austria signed the punctuation of Olmütz, an agreement regulating the two powers' relationship. The punctuation, sorry, not the punctuation. 1864, in a horrible act of disgusting human behavior, Colonel John M. Shivington led a surprise attack known as the Sand Creek Massacre on a camp of Cheyenne and Arapaho people in southwestern Colorado Territory in the U.S., murdered more than 230 Native people who were at the site under the white flag of truce. So this piece of shit John M. Shivington just slaughtered innocent people who were just camping, nothing else. Just a fucking...
Really? On Thanksgiving?
Yeah, well, I don't think Thanksgiving...
Messed up, dude.
Thanksgiving, yeah. Well, again, it's frickin' Colorado has a very, very shitty history. Very shitty history. If you ever read the novel Centennial, you'll read all about their history of treating Indians like... Well, anyway. And then they discovered gold and silver, and then it got worse. In 1929, American pioneer aviator Richard E. Byrd flew over to South Pole. He said, hey, there's a South Pole, and went home. 1963... 1963, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed the Warren Commission to investigate the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which, of course, they solved it. They got to the bottom of it. Of course, they never even got close to the actual. They just said Oswald acted alone, which is horseshit. Nobody fucking believes that. In 1981, American film actress Natalie Wood drowned under mysterious circumstances. Well, it's a horrible day in history, right? Look at all the shit that fucking happened. Crap. You know, we got the Warren Commission, we got massacres. Well, there's another horrible thing. Another horrible thing happening. American film actress Natalie Wood drowned under mysterious circumstances while vacationing on a yacht off Santa Catalina Island, California. Who? I don't know if you know this. Who was the guest of Natalie Wood and her husband Robin Wagner? Who was on board that yacht? Famous actor. Go.
I know the answer, but I can't. I'm terrible at name recollection, so I don't know the name.
It is Christopher Walken was on the yacht. Yeah, he was very young at the time. 1981, very young. He's a lot younger than he is now.
He got drawn up into some drama.
Yep. 1997, in the ceremony that was broadcast on the world by satellite, some 28,000 couples gathered in RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. for a wedding conducted by Sun Myung Moon and the leader of the Unification Church. The Moonies, as they call them. They used to have, yes. I don't know if they used to have mass weddings, and you married somebody you had not met yet. So
it was
the Moonies, I don't know how them.
It was like swingers, but not swingers at all.
Yeah, this Korean messiah, as he called himself, would just match you up with your partner, and you get marry him, and don't even fight it. You're a perfect match because we decided. We spun the wheel of fortune, and you're marrying this person. And on 2001, another sad day, George Harrison died, former Beatle, died of cancer at the age of 58. So if you're wondering why he didn't help Billy Preston, well, he was dying. So
yeah, tragically.
And he did not live as long as Billy Preston. So he got to 58. Everybody's favorite Beatle these days, I swear. He's the funniest Beatle for sure. And the guy who saved the life of Brian for Monty Python. 2008, architect John Utzon, who designed the Sydney Opera House, died at Copenhagen at the age of 90. So a lot of people dying on November 29th. If you make it past November 29th, I mean, you're doing good. Henry Kissinger also bought the farm 1 year ago today at the age of 100 in Connecticut. We all know Henry Kissinger, a former Secretary of State and war criminal during the Vietnam War, who just decided, we're just going to bomb the shit out of people. Fuck this shit. We're in this war, we're bombing civilians and killing people. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll bomb them into peace. So yeah,
that
terrible human being, Henry Kissinger, who never should have been in charge of anything anywhere. Henry Kissinger. Absolutely incompetent buffoon who got credit for shit he didn't fucking do and won a Nobel Prize for some reason. 1832, birthdays in Louisa Alcott, we did that. Other birthdays. Wait, we did featured event. Our featured event happened in 1947. United Nations approves resolution for the partition of Palestine. Oh boy, started all kinds of trouble on this day in 1947. The United Nations General Assembly stuck their finger in the pie and said, here's what we're going to do. Passed Resolution 181, which called for the partition of Palestine into Arab and Jewish states and for the placing of the city of Jerusalem under a special international regime. Oh, that worked. Anyway, more bullshit humans trying to get along with each other instead of just going, you know what? There's no God. Will we stop fighting over this bullshit? Anyway, I mean, seriously, we are our own gods. Just realize it, okay? We are destroying the planet, not God. God ain't going to save you. He ain't there. The featured biography, a very popular, we're talking about France, a very popular former president of France, Jacques Chirac. It's his birthday today. He's born in November 29th, 1932. He died in 2019 at the age of 86. So happy birthday, Jacques Chirac. Best name of any French president for sure. It's also the birthday of Cixi, Emperor Cixi, Cixi, Empress Dowager of China, born in 1835. It's C.S. Lewis's birthday, writer of, what did he write? He wrote Narnia, right?
Yes.
Isn't he in Narnia?
He did.
Yeah. And it's his birthday. He was born in 1898. And it's Rahm Emanuel, former mayor of Chicago, American politician, born in 1959. So Rahm Emanuel turning 65 today. Get that Social Security check, Rahm. And our National Day calendar, it's a lot of crap today for some reason. They decided the day after Thanksgiving, we're going to overpopulate people with a bunch of meaningless days. What international day is it? Because it's going to be something, right? It's National Flossing Day. So if you had a lot of stuffing and turkey yesterday, get that stuff out of your teeth. It's National Native American Heritage Day. We talked about this yesterday. It's Native American Heritage Month. So today is the day. And we got ahead of the game yesterday by listing them all. The 15 of the most significant ones you should know. And a lot of people do know. I would have liked a list of more obscure, but maybe we'll find one. It's also the National Day of Listening. Not listening, listening. No, it's listening.
Oh, I thought I was listening. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, it's listening.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's the National Day of Listening, so make sure you
properly then is what you're saying.
That's right. You weren't listening when I made that joke. Anyway.
I was listening to the joke, but I didn't realize it was a joke. I thought I just heard wrong.
That's right. Listening is very underrated, as one famous person, I think it was Larry King, once said. Larry King, let's quote Larry King, since he ain't around to defend himself. He said, "I never learned anything by talking." Anyway, Maize Day. Maize Day is today. Of course, maize was introduced to the Pilgrims by the Indians in the first Thanksgiving. So it's Maize Day. Maize, of course, is what we call corn, and we put it in everything, including our gasoline in the United States. That's right. We put corn alcohol in our gasoline to make our engines less efficient. We are morons. Anyway, it's also Buy Nothing Day, which is contradicting Black Friday, which says buy everything. So it's Buy Nothing Day, and it's also Black Friday, when in America, everybody goes to the store and beats each other up for a toy that their kid is going to throw away and play with a box. It's also Electronic Greetings Day. So if you want to send an electronic greeting to somebody, I guess you can do that. And it's also Your Welcome Giving Day. Okay. As we're doing the bizarro anti-everything, instead of Thanksgiving Day, it's Your Welcoming Day. Get it? Get it? Get it? You say thanks you all day one day, and you say you're welcome all day the next day, because we are a funny, funny species. Anyway, those are your days for today. November 29th, whatever year this is, November 29th, 2024. On before, well, there was no food here today. Maize, there we go. 2024, November 29th, 2024 on Before Maize.
Okay. You should have my link now to a video that I quickly edited. Let me know if you have problems accessing that. You should be able to access it. It's unlisted.
Is it a download or a link?
But this has been Allison here from the Netherlands. Raj from the west coast of the US.
What international day is it?
It's International Day of Solidarity with Palestinian People. What a fitting UN day for Thanksgiving, where we're all supposed to be focusing on coming together and then sharing food at a table instead of committing genocide, which is kind of what we were trying to do in the United States. So very, very on topic, especially this year when, the genocide has only gotten worse and worse since last year's October attack, or whatever you want to call that. This day provides the opportunity for the international community. This day was established in December 2nd, 1977. So they've been celebrating Palestinian people, which indicates that they've existed, by the way, because I know there's people out there who say Palestinians don't exist. That's not a real group of people. Well, since 1977 they've existed, right. And they've been, for an entire two people's generations, they've existed. And they've been given...
Those like saying Americans don't exist.
Yeah. And then they've been given
Americans
this attention...
only exist because we created a country.
The question of Palestine and how to resolve it, and how the Palestinian people will have yet to attain their inalienable rights as defined by the General Assembly of the UN, the right to self-determination without external interference, hasn't happened yet, the right to national independence and sovereignty, still waiting for that one, and the right to return those home to property from which they have been displaced. I think that's just been the opposite. Even more people have been displaced and taken away from the places that their homes and property. So there you go. That is the International Day today. Very political, because being Palestinian is political. Thanks,
don't forget
Israel, for that one, I guess. And
and this is the day the UN partitioned Palestine. So there you go. And he's declared Jerusalem some special category or some shit, whatever.
But
like
also
the Vatican,
they also were like, hell yeah, but those people deserve to live, So if you would like to, scream about Palestine on social media, go ahead and hashtag 29th of November, Day of Solidarity, and Palestine Day.
Go ahead and hash your tag.
Make sure that all of those Nazis on social media can call you, give you death threats, because they'll be angry that you even mentioned. It is funny that the people who are defending Israel are Nazis. I think that's hilarious. Anyway.
Hilarious, right? Well, because if you act like a fascist, you get fascists to support you, right?
Yeah.
When you're a fascist, it doesn't matter what your religion is. You're on board with the violence and intimidation.
That is how that works. But anyways, that's the end of our Friday news dump. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, don't eat too much and throw up. Make sure you eat just enough. And share your food with others if you have any leftovers, especially those who are homeless, who don't have a Thanksgiving dinner for themselves. I know if you have leftovers, share them with somebody who needs food instead of saving them for yourself or throwing them away, because that does happen sometimes. And that's my my Good Samaritan advice for you today. Here is, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed all of our news dumpy stories about stinky things and drama. Subscribe to the Ali and Raj channel and turn on those notifications so you know when we go live for a Before Coffee episode. We'll see you on Mucking Fun Day. Here is the mic drop moment from yours truly.
There it is, the sun. We made it, guys. We did it.
I was so worried I was going to be late. I was like biking. I'm like, I see the sun. Like the sky's getting brighter. We're going to miss the sunrise. No, we didn't. I was there right before the cusp came from above that horizon. I was so happy.
That's really nice.
I think you need to see it there.
The sun was going to come out up at 8:27, and I was there at 8:23. Hell yeah.
You're talking over yourself, so I don't know who's talking. It's funny. I hear you talking on one side, hear you talking.
I'm just saying something. I was saying something really philosophical.
I heard you.
50 minutes to get here, but then the sun comes up. This is why you have to be here when it comes up, right? Because it comes up so fast, and then it's gone. You've missed it. You've missed this bit completely, and you can never get it back.
Do I hear ducks?
29th,
I'm being very philosophical.
Sun will never come again.
But was there ducks there? Is that what I hear?
Geese. It's in a waterfowl protection zone.
A sanctuary.
A sanctuary.
9 hours. So.
Nice.
A nesting area for geese.
This is the only time I'll be able to see the sun in this exact celestial.
There's no geese around here this time of year. They're all
I'm
in
looking at
Canada.
it. That's why my phone keeps on
I
going
mean, so they're all in
because I'm actually
they're all
looking
in
at
the
sun.
South or
But you shouldn't look at the
Maryland.
sun. It's bad for your eyeballs. So
Canada.
it's
It
actually
wouldn't be
safer
in
that I
Canada
look at
either.
it through my
Don't be
phone
like Trump. Don't look at the
because I'll go
sun.
blind.
Even the
Yeah.
rising sun. Actually, the rising sun is the most dangerous because it's
No,
kind
he
of
looked
being
at an
magnified by
eclipse.
the horizon.
Selfie with the sun.
Definitely don't look at an eclipse.
Selfie with the
Unless you want a
Selfie
black
with the
hole burn into your
sun.
iris.
I'm so cold. Dude, it's so cold outside.
I tried so hard to take a selfie with the sun, but my camera was not participating. It was like, no selfie.
That's not bad.
Very
Can I take a
beautiful.
screenshot of myself?
It's extremely cold though, huh?
You could see the entire bike ride to see the sunrise on my YouTube channel.
Right.
Selfie with the
Ooh.
sun.
Big, just a little plug there. On the Toxic Alley channel, you can see it.
I'm big on bike ride videos.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.